So today it would probably cost $2,000 or $3,000 per person to get to Argentina, and then $2,000 or $3,000 to come back. Probably a little bit less to come back. I'm not exactly sure about that. You will probably, if you live in Utah, fly out of I flew out of Dallas Fort Worth, which is also the one I flew out of when I first went to the mission field. And flew back. When I had flown back from the mission field, I flew back to Atlanta. We flew back to Miami this time, which I'm told is a lot more common. If you meet a lot of people that are in Argentina, have family in Florida. The Latino community is really, really big there. So a lot of people fly to Miami, and I think that flight is a lot more common for American Airlines to do. American Airlines is usually the airline that flies in between the two. You have to fly into Buenos Aires almost unconditionally from America. But from there, I mean, they have Ezeiza, which is the international airport, and the domestic airport, that's Aeroparque Jorge Newbery, which is really, I mean, it's actually convenient. You get to go into the city of Buenos Aires, and I would definitely, if anyone goes there, recommend seeing that. I mean, it's a world-famous city. It's kind of, they call it the Paris of South America. And that part of the city is very pretty and very beautiful and well-kept and everything like that. And there's definitely a lot to see. I mean, I went twice while I was there, once when I got there and once when I came back, and still didn't see everything that I wanted to see in Buenos Aires. It's just too much to see in just 1 or 2 days. But any amount of time that you could spend there, you definitely should. I mean, it's kind of the cultural hub for Argentina, and maybe the people aren't quite as salt of the earth as other parts of Argentina you might have served in, but yeah, it's a good experience. From there, I would say I kind of went backpacker style. For food and everything, I probably kept my costs. Food and travel, as far as like buses go, probably kept my costs a little bit under $500. Well, no, for just me, I mean, it had to be under 3 or 2, honestly. Closer to 1,000 when I added a couple flights in. I flew to the north and then to Cordoba, and then I took a bus from Cordoba to La Pampa, and then worked my way over to Mar del Plata, and then in Mar del Plata I took a flight to the south, and then a flight back from the south to Buenos Aires. If you're traveling to the far north or the far south from Buenos Aires, it really is worth flying, because the bus rides were long, I'm sure. The longest one I did on my mission was probably 13 or 14 hours, but we're talking like days here. If you're going to the far north or the far south, it's a lot of time, and you probably lose most of your time for seeing the country and for seeing the people you want to see and everything like that if you spend a lot of it in colectivos, but or in buses, I guess. Colectivos if you're going back. There's definitely a lot to see in Argentina. Like I said, I went to the north to see Iguazu, and the south to see Perito Moreno. It's a really famous glacier. It's been in equilibrium for a long time. We walked around on it and stuff. It was really cool. But Argentina has a ton of natural beauty and a ton of basically wonders of the world. So I mean, if you do go back, that's maybe seeing one of those things is something you want to do, depending on how many people you have with you. I would say per person, like I said, between $200 and $300 for all the bus travel and food and things you do. The conversion rate is actually probably more than 10 to 1 now, which is what the Mexican peso was when I was in elementary school. The Mexican peso is up to 20 now, but I mean, that's a lot of money, and 100 pesos can not quite buy what it did before, but it can buy a significant amount, probably $50 worth of stuff. So, I mean, that's $10 for $50 worth of good stuff in Argentina, either food or I got a lot of jewelry and stuff for my mother and for some future lucky young lady. But and definitely there's a lot to be seen, and experiences to be had. As far as going to my mission, I found that I could stay with members if I gave them enough time in advance. It was just me alone. If I had been with one other person, it probably still would have been possible. More than that, probably not. Their houses aren't that big. And unless you have a fairly wealthy contacts in every city you're going to in Argentina, I wouldn't recommend that. Everybody wants to feed you a lot. Everybody's really excited that you can drink mate now. I did drink it, tried to make sure they got the water at least boiling. I only think I ever got sick from some tepid mates, but the people were always really happy to receive me, and I realized, I mean, the one tip I would have for myself going back is just don't try to see everybody, because if you're on a time schedule, you probably won't, which is sad. You're so close, you didn't get to see them, but people that make a genuine effort to see you and you make a genuine effort to see them, it'll always happen. Make sure you have contact before with those people that you just absolutely have to see. As far as converts go, I had a lot of them that were less active when I came back, a fair amount. And I would just ask them if they were going to church. You're not a missionary anymore, like a full-time missionary, but I kind of had a couple moments where I was like, yeah, I mean, you're not going to church, and I bet you never thought you would see me again, but here I am. And my message is the same. I mean, I love you, and I know that you going to church is the most important thing. But another thing, I mean, I went with a family that hadn't been going to church for about 6 months, and it was a real coup when the hermano, the dad, got baptized and everything, and he was, worried about this or that, about having not having gone to church. And I did bring little gifts to everyone. And one thing I brought to almost all my converts was a little sleeve for their temple recommend. And I would say, like, when you do have a temple recommend, this is where you want to put it. And I want you to be reminded that your temple recommend comes from Christ, and that it comes from your own efforts, and it doesn't come from any reason that you are inactive or less active. I don't know, fight with the branch president or another member of the church, or just laziness or this or that. And it's worth it to have an eternal family. And, people were genuinely surprised that I made it all the way back there. And I would tell them, I don't want to be surprised to see you in the celestial kingdom. I mean, I would like to, I don't know if I'll ever see you again in this life, but I don't want to be surprised that you're there. I want you to actually make the decisions now, or as soon as you can, to get your life back in order and get back on the path. But really, if I had any advice for seeing people, it would be just that one: don't try to see everybody or to see everything, because it's just almost impossible unless you're spending a month down there. Remember, those are people you met over the course of 2 years of your life. I mean, it's not like you met everybody on the same day and saw them all every day of your life. But there are definitely people that it's worth it to see. Make sure you're in contact with them, and you're always finding them well. I mean, as long as they have their health, a lot of things. I mean, they might be going through trials in their life and everything, but you're always finding them well because you're seeing them again. So definitely, I mean, you celebrate the moment. You invite them to do whatever they have to do, and I mean, the invitation for everybody to me was to get married, and I said, oh, work on that, and they said, oh, well, can't really be telling people to go to church if you're not obeying the commandments. And I said, oh, I guess you got me there. But yeah, I mean, it's a really amazing experience. I'm very, very grateful, and kind of a miracle that I was able to do it at all. But it's a really amazing thing. Do you have any more questions about?
How long was it? Was it a week or two? Or?
It was 13 days. 13 days in Argentina, and then probably about 2 of travel.
Perfect.
Because it takes about a day to get there, a day to get back.